Hi, everyone. Kate Bora and Fiona Pearman here, talking about focus and presence. And we started off this month digging into why focus and presence matters, what it is, and how we can do a bit more of it. And then we talked last time about how we're constantly distracted. We're constantly pulled out of our ability to focus and be present in the moment because we've been trained for distraction. And it's almost like a conscious piece we need to do to retrain for focus. And today we're going to dig into some really practical tips about how we can be more mindful in our everyday life, in our everyday world.
Yeah, I think, we'd all love to, well, I know certainly I would love to be able to have the time to be able to, dedicate half an hour a day to meditating or doing whatever mindfulness strategy you have. And of course, I want to call out that if it was important enough, you would, right? And for all of us, there's competing priorities in every minute and every moment. And so starting to find what I call micro moments. What are the moments over the course of the day that you are already doing? And a classic one that's always talked about is, the washing up, how do you make chores, things you do on a daily basis, making a cup of tea, when you go downstairs for me to turn the kettle on, that often takes 2 or 3 minutes, and just taking that moment to look out the window and just really be present to whatever is present at that moment, whether that's visually, whether that's emotionally, mentally, physically, actually starting to use the micro moments that are part of your day to day, that where you see those opportunities and that you can recognize that you could actually repurpose those moments as an opportunity for a moment of mindfulness. It's looking for those that I think are really, it's really the trick here when we think about how do we integrate it across our day in an easy way and in a regular way.
There's a beautiful piece here about becoming more aware of the moments in which this is available to us. And as you said, Kate, there are literally hundreds of small places where we can just catch ourselves and give ourselves a different experience. And a lot of this is about doing less. So it's about when we take that walk, not having the music on, or when we're doing something and, we're listening into something else, or we've got the TV in the background, or we've got lots of other stimulation happening, just choosing, not all the time, but some of the time just to turn off those other things so that we can be fully present in this moment and just experience what's going on there. I know for me, most mornings, if I can get 5 minutes where I have a cup of tea, I've got a lovely window seat where I can look out and I can just take a few moments, no phones, no distractions, no noise, just me. And it's like a meditative experience. It's only 5 minutes, but it does give me that little break and pause that means that I come into whatever I do next in the day with more focus and with more presence.
I think the opportunity here is to really come up with a list. I often call it, what's the 5 micro moments, the 5 things where you could take an extra 60 seconds to do 60 seconds of breathing. It's something that we do in a lot of our client programs. Again, when people come into virtual training rooms with us, they're often leaving, in the middle of tasks or left meetings, so often quite frazzled. So just taking that 60 seconds to be able to have a few deep, long breaths to really just allow people just to disconnect and then also to arrive into trainings with us. But you can do that same thing for yourself, right? Where you can actually just allow and for me, how this feels physically is it's a breather, it's a break. It's just a moment to sit and to not have my mind all caught up with everything else that's going on. And so I think when we start to build some good habits, and they are absolutely habits, it's the habit when you go down to put the kettle on, and instead of checking your phone, just leaving the phone at the desk or leaving it down and giving yourself that time. It really is about identifying what's going to work for you. It is not a one size fits all strategy here. It's finding out and looking at your daily routine, the moments that might present as opportunities for you, and looking at, okay, how can I just create those 60 seconds or that 3 minutes? We have these egg timers, fancy egg timers that are 3 minutes. And so it's just 3 minutes of breathing, 3 minutes just to take a breath and then be able to segue into what comes next. A couple of things happen. Of course, It gives us, our body, that little moment of rest that is so important in work days where we are multitasking, and for many of us running from meeting to task to another meeting. And it also just creates that space for those moments of genius, those insights to drop in. So find out what works for you. Test, learn, experiment. It's all around creating, just practicing and finding out the habits that really are going to help you bring this into your working day and life.
The more we give ourselves these beautiful moments to replenish, to restore, to be present, it has a ripple effect out into the people we're dealing with our experience of the day, with how we show up, with how others experience us. So little micro moments have a big effect, I think, for everybody. We would love, if you've enjoyed this confidence conversation, to tag or to share other people. If you'd like to hear more or to learn more about our work in core confidence, visit the website coreconfidence.com.au. And if you've got any questions or comments, please pop them in the comments below.